Hi guys, this is part 2 of the React Native Animated API series. Here I will be speaking about the Animated.ValueXY, Animated.sequence and parallel functions and the difference between them, and also I will use the Animated.spring. So first let's start on creating a new component, moving cart. Write this components folder. So what this moving card will do is there will be a button. Below this button there will be a card, and now when the button is pressed, we will start an animation. The card will move from this 0 0 position to the right and then again to the left. This kind of card movement we will see how we can do it using the animated API. I will import the necessary component. First I will need the animated text to touchable opacity style sheet. Now for animated.valueXY, the use ref. First, let's create the button and the card and add it to the app.tsx. The text here can be start animation. Text here will be card. Now I will add this to the app. Okay, this text is there. Let's style the button and this card. We will do some minimal styling. There will be one for the button, there for this card button. Color of add this. Let's make light blue. Card is kept inside a view. I will create this card style now. Height suppose 120. Suppose the border of suppose card. Give it a background. Let's style the text inside this also. Justify content. Align it. Now I will move this card from this top left to right and again back to left in a zigzag manner. Now for this we create an animated value. We selected value xy because we need to track two coordinates here, x and y. This value xy takes in an object x and y. So x 0 and y is 0. So these are the initial coordinates. Now create a function that this will invoke this card movement. Now we will move the card from this point to this point. We will do the animated dot timing. Earlier we used the animation dot timing, but now we will use the spring to demonstrate the spring. So there it will be card any movement. Then we get two value. Now in our case, this will be the final value of these two. So basically from 0 0 where it will go. This position is 200, and on the x it is 200, along y it is also suppose 200. Let's see how it looks like. Native driver, and also we have to start the animation. Click on the button. Nothing is happening now because we have to find these animated positions to this view. So I will use the animated.view. We'll write here transform x translate y will be at move. See, the card has moved the x slightly to the right. Refresh it. This is the spring animation. So if we give timing, timing will go maximum to this 2 value, 250 or 200. But because we are using spring, animated.values x and y coordinates will overshoot to the two values because it goes slightly to the right and then comes back. So this is the difference between the spring and timing animation. Now we have some properties for this spring animation. One is this was bounciness. 5. Refresh it. The more it is bouncy, the more it will overshoot and come back. Another one is tension. So if the tension is higher, it will give a fast moving animation. Yes, I give 20. Another thing is the friction. So if the friction is low, then there will be more overshoot. It is 20. If the friction is very high, let's use it to 6. See, there is a very large overshoot as compared to 20. So another property that we can use is the mass. If there is a very large mass, it will also overshoot more. One thing to note regarding these properties like friction, tension, bounciness is that we can only apply any one of them, otherwise it will give an error at runtime. It will not throw any kind of TypeScript error, but it will be a runtime error. So if we give suppose tension of 10, if I restart it, see there is no TypeScript error, but if I run it, it gives this runtime error. You can define one of bounciness, speed, but not more than one. Let's only give one of. Another property of this animated art movement is this: instead of writing this separately, you can use a property called card movement animation dot get translate transform. This will return that array of objects of translate x and translate y. Now we will look how we can use the animated.sequence. So animated.sequence will run an array of animations one after another. So we will be using that to do the kind of animations from this 00 to this 250 200, and again to this left hand side this card will come. So the coordinates here will be around 0 and y will be around maybe 300. What I will do is animated.sequence will take in this. Now along with it there will be another coordinate. So this will be 0. Let's give it a different, suppose tension of 10. Let's start. The card went here. This animation is working. This is the sequence animation. Like we only wanted this animation to happen after this animation. Okay, so now I will explain the difference between animated.sequence and animated.parallel. So for that I will create a new file where the content will be almost similar to this sequence versus parallel. We'll copy this name. The content will be almost similar and we will be adding some new code here. Put default, and I will import it and use it in app.tsx. So let's give it a restart and check it. So it is the same functionality. So for this, since it's taking some time, I will use tension here and it will be suppose 10. Again restart it. So the difference between sequence and parallel is, as my name says, so the animations inside the sequence will run one after another, and the animations inside the parallel will run parallelly. Now currently we have only one animation, like this card move animation. I will put another animation. So this will be a simple. There will be a round ball. There will be an animation where the size of the ball will grow. Okay, so there will be two animations and we will see how they are different. So there will be a ball animation. So this will be a one dimensional, since only the scale of the ball is growing. So initially it will be 1, and after that animation it will be 3. Now there's this view. Now for this ball I will make a simple circle. So let's make it a bit larger and give a margin top of 10. Now we will animate this. Currently this card is going from top to right and then to left. We also want the ball size to grow. For that I will do animated dot timing, and the to value will be 3. Use native driver will be true. And now on this transform, and scale will be okay. So let's give it a start. First the card moved and then the ball increased. Now if I used parallel, give it a restart. See, the card movement we saw go from here to here, but these two are happening in parallel. So ultimately the end result is that the card will reach here, and instantaneously this animation up to the scale of the ball has happened. These animations have all done parallelly. Okay, that's it for this video. In the next video we will be looking more into the animated API. Thanks.